All right. Hey, Hacksters. Good morning. I'm here with Rodolfo Saccoman, who is the CEO and co-founder of AdMobilize and Matrix Labs. Good morning, Rodolfo.
Good morning. Hello. How are you, Alex?
I'm awesome. I love this map you've got going on behind you.
Yeah, that's our global team.
That's awesome. Yeah, you've got a huge, you've got like 35 people on your team. Is that right?
Yeah, so we have 35 people. Headquarters are here in Miami. Then we have an office in London, one in
Awesome.
Brazil, one in Bogota, Colombia.
Wow.
And we have a couple of engineers. One is in Portland, in Mexico, in Poland, and they used to be in our offices, but they relocated, and we kept everybody.
That's really cool. I
Yeah.
love how that's kind of enabled by today's technology landscape.
Yeah, it's amazing, like having these distributed teams that work together, and because of all these obviously technologies like Slack and Google Hangouts, and it's so easy to just share. Just
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah, can you tell us a bit about what you'll do together? Like, what are you making?
Yeah, sure. So AdMobilize is kind of the parent company, and then we have two main brands, right? One is AdMobilize, and the other
Mhm.
one is Matrix Labs. AdMobilize basically, what it is. We developed a very complex computer vision stack. So we developed our own deep neural networks, have millions of trained images, and
Wow.
and the problem we're solving is kind of like the Google Analytics for the physical world.
Whoa.
So if you look at, traditional outdoor advertising, it's a massive industry, sometimes not seen as too sexy, but it's a massive industry. You have about 38 million connected digital screens in the world. There's about, $38 billion being spent in outdoor advertising, but there's no metrics. There's no proof of performance. There's no measurement. They sell, ads overall on historical data or
Uh-huh.
sampling data, which we all know, historical data and sampling data can never match real-time data. So then you can deploy our solutions at those locations, and our software works pretty much on any media player that is
Mm.
serving those ads on the screen. And then all you have to do is attach a little Logitech kind of camera, or you can attach our ad beacon. So this is a hardware
Oh.
which we developed. That's an 8 megapixel camera.
Whoa.
It has an onboard processor, basically. So our clients just attach this to an outlet. Takes about 12 pictures per second or per frame, and then we run all of our computer vision algorithms, most of it at the edge, and then all of this information appears like on a dashboard within 15 milliseconds. So it's really,
Wow.
we do people count, emotion analysis, gender, age, all with like remarkable accuracy, which was really hard to achieve. I mean, developing your own deep neural nets and then having these millions of trained and classified images running on a very low processing power device in real time. Our
That's a
engineers,
huge challenge.
so that's on the AdMobilize portion, right? And then
Mhm.
the brand that evolved from that is Matrix Labs. And then Matrix Labs, which we're super excited. So Matrix Labs, basically what we are doing there is democratizing the IoT. We call it the IoT app economy, because
Mm.
it's really hard for you to develop Internet of Things product solutions, especially if you want to start from prototype to initial scale and then super large scale, and then to integrate, artificial intelligence into a hardware. You need a lot of funding, and so
Yeah.
what we're doing is we've made, our boards, Matrix Creator and Matrix Voice, very affordable, and then people can create directly the hardware abstraction layer, or they can utilize the Matrix operating system, and they can start creating these products and solutions very fast. So it's really, the way we like to think of how the Apple Store, kind of started with 100 apps. They had
Yeah.
created this little hardware device, with some sensors and connectivity, and then obviously people built apps on top of that. But our
Mm.
Matrix product line is basically doing that, but for Internet of Things, and enabling AI to be easily brought in.
Cool. So AdMobilize is kind of your one that interfaces with other businesses, and Matrix is more for people who are sort of maker pros, who are like looking to develop their own products but aren't necessarily there yet.
Yeah,
Cool.
so AdMobilize is really B2B, and
Uh-huh.
then we call Matrix Labs B2B, B2C, and then B2D, which is developer. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, it's kind of like so you say that advertising is unsexy, but then you've got when you have this market driven thing like advertising or so like even space technology or like the phone race to make them like more powerful and stuff, you get all this sort of fallout for the rest of the community gets to sort of reap the benefits of that competition. And I kind of see some other applications coming out of this technology, like AdMobilize is so powerful. You also have vehicle recognition and vehicle detection, which seems like it could be used for like road safety or whatever.
Yes, yeah. So you're right. I think that the AdMobilize, we focus on three areas. One is people
uh-huh.
analytics, emotions, gender, age, all of that. Second is crowds, so huge amount of multitudes that we're tracking hundreds of
Mm,
people per minute. And then the third bucket is really vehicle intelligence, right? So you have vehicle detection, vehicle recognition, which means that with a simple kind of i3 or i5 computer and a simple Vivotech kind of camera, we
mhm,
can run our software on it. We train these streams to be very, very accurate for day, night, rain, shine, shadow,
mm,
occlusion of cars and things like that. And obviously, we started focusing on giving intelligence for these billboard operators,
mm.
but then we have some smart cities starting to use it, and
Cool.
sometimes people package the technologies to solve different problems,
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
which is
Do you
fun.
run into do you
Yeah.
run into any concerns about privacy, or do you think about that as you're developing this?
Yeah, so we see privacy always with a lot of attention, and because of that, we have designed our technologies to be anonymous, right?
That's cool.
So if you look at that Mobilize technology stack, we utilize more of the detection than recognition.
Mm. Oh, we might be getting a small network issue.
Are you there?
Oh, there we go. I think it's
For
roboing out a little bit.
a
Mm,
second.
how's that? Oh
Can,
no.
can you
Um,
hear me?
oh, I can hear you now. And you kind of froze again. I'm going to switch
Alex?
networks real quick. Hope that helps. Okay. Hello?
Hello, can you see me?
Oh, good. I switched networks. It seems like it's better now.
Yeah,
How's
it
that?
seems better. Yeah, I think it
All
froze
right.
a little bit. Yeah, so
Sorry
your
about that.
question regarding privacy. Yeah,
Yeah.
so the way all of our technology is really based on anonymous data.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think of it, we convert whatever it is data, and that's use it.
Awesome. Oh, we're still having a bit of glitch. Oh no.
I can see you.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
um, so when it comes to options like that, and there's also the concern about security, as more and more people bring IoT devices, especially DIY IoT on devices onto networks, there's definitely concerns about educating the community about security. So the Matrix creator and voice actually run on Raspberry Pi, and they've made steps like disabling SSH by default to try and make sure that people know what they're getting into when they do that. Do you have any features, or do you leave that mostly up to the user? There's always this debate about, like how much do you sort of by default kind of push on them versus how much do you rely on the user to do that for themselves and make it configurable?
Yeah, so our take on that is anything that you're basically using it in your home, you should have complete control of it. And in terms of blocking what people can do with the devices, we try to follow some of the things that the Pi is doing. I think
Mm.
the Raspberry Pi group, they're really, I think, progressive in how they do things. But yeah, look, my big thing is if you always allow people to have opt-in, opt-out kind of concept when it comes to privacy,
Yeah.
That's the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why, for instance, when it comes to AdMobilize, we don't have any of these face recognition technologies out in the market.
Mm.
For Matrix Creator and Matrix Voice, we have allowed them to start incorporating some of these things, in these prototypes that they're doing, which I think people love as well, and it's
Mm.
usually within their own network. But one of the big things that we do love at AdMobilize and Matrix and the company is this intelligence at the edge.
Mm.
We're really big, and we are doing certain things in our research and development that I can share everything, but soon enough.
Oh, secrets. I
but
love
but
secrets.
we, but we love that concept of how much AI
Uh-huh.
can be running directly at the edge, so it doesn't ever have to hit the cloud.
Yeah. And for our viewers, the edge refers to performing the computations, doing the facial recognition, all the AI stuff on the device itself before the information is sent up to the cloud so that you sort of handle that computation. And it also results in like less data transmission, right? And sort of lower.
Yeah, so you reduce bandwidth,
Mhm.
you're controlling all of the privacy, really, because it's all running at the chip level. So I'll give you an example.
So
Uh,
everything's anonymized before it even gets there.
so for instance, this is
Cool.
Matrix Voice, right? And
Yeah.
and I know you've done great stuff with it. Yeah. So, and I'm just showing here. So, for instance, that's an FPGA,
Uh-huh.
and the way we did Matrix Voice is that it can run with the Pi or without the Pi, right?
Mm. Because
But
you've got an ESP32 on there, right?
yeah, this has got the ESP32 chip, which we love what they have done there. So
So
you can
cool.
create applications right on it. And the amazing thing about the Matrix Voice, let's say, is that you can run some wake words and some kind of intelligent commands all running at the FPGA level.
Wow.
So, and obviously on our side, we keep trying to improve the documentation. We're a small team. We care so much, but we don't have enough hours in the day, and we work already a lot. But we're hiring more people now. So our big thing is, how do we continue giving a lot of substance to the community and help them create these things? But even the Matrix Creator too, the Matrix Creator also has this FPGA push where the creator works with the Pi. But I think this concept that you can create applications very fast. And our big thing is, how do you bring in these AI concepts such as computer vision, voice recognition, where developers and kind of enterprise can easily integrate it into developing the solutions?
Mm. And this is a fairly new product. So have you seen anyone developing products with it yet? Or do you know what people are mostly tending to develop with this? Is it mostly voice assistants with like a bit of cool, glamorous lights?
So it's a mix, right?
Uh-huh.
We have some people, like for instance, there's one of the world's largest aerospace companies. They told us they're working on a prototype of using the Matrix Creator that is working with the Pi and a little Pi camera. That basically what
Oh.
they're trying to do is measure astronauts' emotion suborbit. You,
What?
yeah, it's amazing. I mean, using the gyroscope of the Matrix Creator with the camera, using
That's so
some
cool.
of our kind of emotion analysis
Uh-huh.
libraries. So think of it, Alex, it's a 2 ounces, a 2 ounce development board that could
Yeah.
potentially go suborbit to solve that problem. We have had people buy, Matrix Voice to help with education.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we have had people use Matrix Creator kind of as the brain of drone prototypes.
Uh-huh.
We've done people, they have done like medical dispensaries. So you're using the microcontrollers of the creator. So you can, in that particular prototype, what they did was use, identify people's face, like elderly people's faces in homes.
Uh-huh.
And then they can dispense the medicine for that client or that patient from the machine, utilizing the underlying technology of this.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we have had people now using a lot of voice. Voice is big.
Mm.
Obviously, it's voice is sexy. I mean, Amazon Alexa, they've done incredible job. Google Assistant too, and others are coming. And some of these are doing it so it runs at the edge, which is really amazing as well. Alexa. Yeah. We're running Alexa on
Do you
Matrix.
want to do a demo?
Huh?
Do you want to do a demo?
Yeah, sure, I can do it.
Cool.
So this is Matrix Voice. Now we put this one running on a Raspberry Pi. Alexa, can you hear me?
She only pays attention when you're not trying to.
Press the mic button.
Oh, there we go.
Alexa, what's Matrix Creator?
The Matrix's creators are Lana Wachowski and Lily Wachowski.
So it's pretty amazing, right? So here, we're just running the Alexa service on it. Oh, Alexa, stop. Yeah, but it's amazing, so we even have like enterprise clients, Alex, coming to us saying, okay, so I have this huge retail store. My clients get frustrated when they go to a specific shelf, let's say looking for nails. They don't know what nail to choose. There's no customer service around, so they have to walk around the entire place. But you could create a simple solution that basically, the customer would say, customer service onto the Matrix voice. That would send a message to whatever cell phone of the agent walking the floor, and they would know, okay, there's somebody on the nail section. I'm going to go alert them now. So our big thing is, yeah, we love home automation, but there's a lot of these kind of use cases in the real world that people can start utilizing this kind of technology.
Yeah. And I noticed, of course, Alexa still thinks that Matrix Creator refers to the creators of the Matrix trilogy. So you'd have to figure out some SEO on that. But what you can also do is build in other voice assistants like Mycroft or Google Assistant. You can build your own one so that when someone says where are the nails or whatever, the device knows exactly what you're talking about, and it doesn't even need to be connected.
Yeah, 100%, and we're seeing that. We're seeing people using. I mean, we've even put. I think we have several tutorials there on Hackster on utilizing Google Assistant and Alexa and Mycroft. I don't think we have one for that. There's Snips.ai. There's all, and what happens is our products. What we're trying to do is break the boundaries of geography, of language, of affordability, right? Because if you have a voice recognition API, who knows, in Pakistan or India, in Hindu, you could potentially utilize our product to solve that. A lot of what we have seen is development boards can get very expensive. I think, the Raspberry Pi Foundation, I think they led the way of let's make the board super affordable, as flexible as possible. And we try to do that with the creator and voice, obviously for other things, right? But we love that is how they always joke, if you were to put 3 chimpanzees in a room, of them, eventually they will write Shakespeare.
I don't know how much I actually believe that.
Me neither. But I do like the concept of, give us the tools.
Yeah.
Create. And that's the beauty of this,
Yeah. So you've got a tall order that you're describing here. There's all this stuff that you are working to build sort of as the future. And you've built a team around this for building hardware and software and assisting others in creating their own technology. So how do you find the right people to work with? And what do you look for in someone who's going to be building this kind of technology?
Sure. So we have been...
Not chimps, presumably.
No, we have been really, really blessed, right? I have pretty much handpicked everybody that has joined the company. And what happens is when you're a team of 35, you're still a small team. So you have to work together incredibly much, and it's very long hours. But we're so excited by what we're doing and what we're creating and the response we're getting from, at the end of the day, it's our clients, people that believe in us, and we work so hard to execute. And I always hire for 4 things, right? Do you have a good heart, which is huge? Do you care, right?
I like that that's first.
That's huge. Second is, do you have some brain power to execute what it is that we need that role to do? Because everybody's very different. A salesperson doesn't think the same as our, let's say, a chief hardware engineer. Third is, are you kind of hungry to disrupt the world. You know, like, do you think our products can make a huge difference? That's there. And then it's teamwork. Because, you know, we have this saying in the company that it's all for one for all.
Wow, cool.
We really believe it, you know, like, and we're here, I think, making these amazing things because of that. It's all the team. I mean, it's a very, very team, like you said, right? We have very, very sophisticated teams in terms of hardware, in terms of kind of machine learning, in terms of software. And the areas now that we're really boosting is, you know, customer support, customer engagement, you know, super important. And we know it, you know, and that's super rewarding for us. Yeah, so those are some things that we're working big time in the next kind of, you know, 2 months here.
Kind of reminds me of the Wizard of Oz. So, because you've got like the heart with the Tin Man, the brain with the Scarecrow, the bravery, the hunger, the courage of the lion.
Yeah,
and you've got the dream as well. You've got to have the dream of what's her face, Dorothy.
Yeah, hey, that's pretty interesting. I never thought of that, but yeah, you know, like, and maybe we can say that, you know, the curtain is, you know, the barriers that sometimes exist in the world for advancement to happen, for accessibility to happen, right? So yeah, and we like that, you know, like, yeah, but that's a good example. I might copyright. Yeah,
totally.
I might give you. You use your analogy there. Yeah.
And so, yeah, you mentioned this curtain, you know, the sort of limitations that you're facing, and you're building all kinds of different things. What would you say the biggest challenge in all of this that you're facing is right now?
So I think the only thing that really keeps me up at night, apart from my wife and our baby arriving in about 2 weeks.
Wow! Congrats!
Yeah, thank you. Is this concept of how fast can we go, right? Like in my mind, I would love to have right now 100 tutorials showing, you know, our matrix creators or clients of how to develop things, maybe doing kind of custom hand holding to accelerate the creations that they are doing, showcasing more of their work. So, and obviously to do that, it's all about resources, right? So, AdMobilize, you know, as a company with Matrix Labs, we have raised funding before. We're doing something really amazing right now that I'll be sharing the next probably month that should unlock a lot of these kind of the speed, right? It's kind of like the velocity. So for me, that is we need more engagement with the clients. Yeah.
Cool. Well, speaking of engagement, tell me about Gesture.ai. This is another thing that you folks are developing that's like an alpha, right?
Yeah, so Gesture.ai was a product kind of in our research and development. Like sometimes we like to create something, package it, and kind of put it out, get a feel how people respond to it. You know, I'm big on experimentation. That's kind of our DNA. So I think, yeah, so I think for Gesture.ai, we have done certain things where they can integrate it within the Matrix operating system to create some apps on the Matrix Creator, or if you're using the Raspberry Pi camera. I do think that for engagement in retail with digital screens, Gesture is going to get interesting, because if you look at all of our tech, especially the computer vision tech, what we're trying to do is, so it's really, really accurate, close to that 99, 98% accurate. It's instant detection, like 15 milliseconds. You capture the data, you analyze it, it goes to dashboards. And then third, that everything runs on very low processing power devices. So historically, gesture recognition has been done on more expensive, more complex hardware, like a Kinect. They stopped doing it in October. They just announced that they're launching it again. I think
Really?
it came out yesterday on the
Ah,
Microsoft conference. So that was
good.
yeah. So our thing is our gesture recognition. We built it in a way that works on a simple Logitech camera,
Huh.
connected to like a very affordable, inexpensive PC, right? And then obviously
Awesome.
on gesture, the magic is on the back end, right?
Mm-hmm.
How how many thousands of images have you trained and classified in your model, and then how accurate and the latency is. I mean, it's just focusing on the hand. So we have trained several gestures, like obviously it's following your hand.
Yeah.
We should have had the demo running here now, but and then you can close your fist, and that's you're sending an input into the system. You can do a thumbs up, you can close and move things. So
Cool.
interesting. I think gesture is another one of these things I call touchless technologies.
Mm. It definitely seems like it would have a lot of applications with AI and VR, or with VR and AR maybe, because like, as you're working more with sort of virtual objects that don't exactly exist physically, you need things where you don't need to touch something in order to control it.
Yes, and that's my big thing with the team is we believe in this concept of touchless technologies, which means that you as the person don't need to be carrying any hardware on you for you to interact with the physical world and the physical world to interact with you. I'm really big on that concept, right? So if you look at our roadmap, it's just there's some really interesting things there, because I think if we get to a point where it really becomes natural, like voice recognition is I mean it's second nature. Computer vision is also second nature, and I think the magic of these technologies means that I'm not carrying any hardware on me.
Uh-huh.
So what else can you do with that concept, right?
Yeah, I love that you use the word magic because it reminds me so much of this, sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Like that's exactly like, spoken aloud spells, like performing actions with just a gesture of your hands. This is totally magic. And
It's
yeah.
incredible. And look, and if you look even 5 years ago, we couldn't have achieved pretty much any of the things that we have achieved over the last 2 years.
Wow, yeah.
Which is insane, right? Like imagine what's going to be really 5 years from now. This area that we are of AI, and AI obviously it's a pretty big field, but if you look at voice recognition intelligence, gesture, computer vision, algorithms, and then obviously them thinking intelligently, it's going to be really fascinating. I really think this is like Web 1995.
Yeah, I was just thinking it's totally the next generation because, there's a whole generation that grew up and now kind of when they were growing up, they expected every like underlined thing to be clickable. And now we have kids who expect every screen to be a touch screen. And I
Yes.
feel like maybe by the time that your child is growing, they're going to expect everything to just be able to interact like this and like,
Yeah,
what's after that? I don't know.
it's gonna be incredible. Like we're so bullish on the moment of technology because you can do things like think of us, right? We like 3 years ago, no, sorry, 4 years ago, our computer vision software was in one city, Miami.
Huh.
Today, we have the technology in 82 countries and over like 405 cities. It's amazing. It's not like like the ability that the world, obviously the world has a lot of problems, but I think these technologies, if they are embraced, you level the playing field, hopefully for humanity.
Yeah.
Obviously that's big vision, but it's exciting that we're seeing these things happen. Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally an instance of, I think, I'm not sure if it was William Gibson or who said that the future is here, it's just not distributed yet. I think that's going to be a huge part of this, the coming future is just making sure that the whole world gets to take part in the future and gets to sort of catch up to where people are. Because there's so many minds out there that are completely...
Yeah, it is. And what happens is, talent can come from anywhere. I always, I tell the team often is like, yeah, I think the team, we speak like 10 languages. And I always joke, like, it's 10 languages, 30 accents.
Mhm.
You know, like
Yeah. And
but
you know, with diversity of experience, you get things like the Sino bit, where you know you go from the microbit, which has a 5x5 LED grid, and that becomes kind of the standard for a bit. And then suddenly people are like, well, hey, you can't write Arabic or like Chinese characters on that. Let's make one that's 12x12, and like it totally powers the future. You know, diversity.
it's incredible, you know. And my big thing is there's so many talented people in the world, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes is they just don't have the access for their minds to just flourish. They're not
Mm.
exposed to things, right? So what's one way of exposing them? And obviously we're talking about engineering and solutions and things like
Mm-hmm.
that, is you make it so affordable
Mm.
that, and you remove all those complexities and barriers to entry for them to learn, and you allow them to do it. Like one of our big dreams in the company one day is to start like a university, like a matrix
Wow.
university, where we're giving people all this all this knowledge so they can create their own companies and their own products, leverage on our stuff or whoever's, you know,
Mm-hmm.
products, which means they can completely think differently on how their own lives and their communities' lives can be. And obviously it has to be structured, and there's other people doing things like that. But how amazing is that? Remove, you know, kind of the status quo that has
Mm.
existed forever. And obviously the world today is moving to that direction. So, you know, here we love that idea, you know.
Mm. Awesome. Well, we should probably start wrapping up. I know that you have some things that you're being really coy about, you can't talk about yet. It's like we should just stay tuned for the next month or so, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to share about other things that you're working on, other announcements you've got?
So I think, so first of all, you know, I'm a huge fan of you and Adam and the Hackster team. So,
Yay!
you know,
Likewise.
what you guys have created is amazing. You know, I wanted to thank Arm also, you know, for including us. It's really exciting that such a, you know, big company is taking such a focus on this creative process that we're at. And then from
Totally.
our side, you know, for all those you know, customers that have purchased the Matrix Voice and Creator and they're on our community, thank you. My promise to you is that, you know, we're going to keep elevating documentation, customer support. You know, I was talking with you earlier. You know, we hired a dedicated community manager. She's
Mm-hmm.
starting in August. I tried before, but she can't, so she's starting in August, and that should be a lot of fun. And our thing is collaboration. You know, it's should be a fun rest of the year here.
Sweet. It seems like a really human-focused company, and that's awesome.
Yeah, you know, we're human. We're
First
human.
species, right?
Yeah, for sure. So, Alex, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This is awesome. This is fascinating.
You know, it's fun. It's fun. You know, people can find us on the computer vision stuff. They can go like AdMobilize.com.
Mm,
Then on the Matrix stuff, they can find us on Matrix.one.
cool.
Yeah,
And then
and
there's also, do you want people to start getting involved in Gesture.ai, or is that kind of like an experiment thing? Or
it's an experiment, but they can go in there.
cool.
And look, we love to collaborate. So thank you very much. Have
Awesome.
a great
Thanks for joining.
week, Alex. All
Yeah,
right.
cheers. You too.
All
Ciao.
right. Thank you. Bye. Ciao.